Hi guys, welcome back to another video. In today's video we are going to be using the three kings of Africa, and we're going to be starting off in the heavyweight division with the current heavyweight champion of the world, Francis Ngannou. Now, his contract situation still remains sort of unsolved, but I'm kind of hoping that we see him come back, get paid what he deserves, and see him fight John Jones. That's really the ideal fight for me. I think that's a very, very interesting fight, but nevertheless we'll see what happens. But when it comes to using Ngannou on UFC, I do tend to struggle a little bit. My stand up isn't the best as it is, and Ngannou does feel very, very stiff. I mean, when you see him fight in real life and how fluid he is and how quick and explosive he is, that really doesn't transfer onto the game very, very well. And fighting against Cyril Gane is definitely going to be one of the tougher matchups in the division, especially considering when Cyril's just absolutely silky, phenomenal when it comes to being on the feet. Probably the best heavyweight striker we've seen when it comes to just fluidity and be able to move and can really target the legs and target the body and then mix it up and then target the head as well. So definitely a very, very hard matchup, and you can see that it's a 3 round fight, which probably benefits me more, to be honest with you, because the energy expenditure is more over on my side, where I'm able to expend more energy really looking to get that knockout finish. But nevertheless, still got to be very, very careful because Cyril does transfer and transmit power very well and is very, very quick. So you can see early on that I'm really trying to check the leg kicks, because that's going to mitigate my power and then really damage my movement, and then can also in the future lead to potential easy knockdowns and stuns for Cyril. So something I'm being very cautious of. He's throwing head kicks in very, very weird angles, like just there when we was in boxing range for a head kick. So something that I'm trying to be very cautious of, and you can see that the checking these leg kicks are definitely starting to add up. Although Cyril has a very good switch stance, just checking them over time is going to hopefully deter Cyril from throwing them, and just countering with some of my own as well. I mean, it's not like Ngannou's a leg kick specialist, but when he does throw them, just because of the sheer power he has when they land, it does a lot of damage as it gets checked there. So, like I said, I'm not very good with Ngannou. So, the idea of this video was to use three of my favourite fighters. I mean, I absolutely love all three of these guys. So, I was going to start off with Ngannou, move over to Isreal Adesanya, and then move over to Kamaru Usman. Now, Usman, of course, isn't the champion. He got headshotted by Leon Edwards, but still thought it would be a pretty cool video to make, considering Usman's legacy is very, very good. I mean, one of the greatest to ever do it for sure, was pound for pound #1, and despite him being very, very cringy, he's an absolute amazing fighter. No one can even question that. But focusing back onto the fight here, you can see I'm just trying to be very, very patient. I'm switching stance here and there just to get a different read and open up different angles and see what presents itself. Obviously, of course, Ngannou, everything he touches is it's just full of power, but it's his uppercut in particular that's very, very strong and powerful. So that's something I was definitely trying to work into it, but not make it too obvious, because once you do, it's easy to start getting picked apart. And you can see that Cyril is working the body very well as I land a roundhouse of my own. So decent first round there. Is more of a feeling out process. Obviously, I've only now got 2 real rounds to work with, and that's the danger with 3 round fights, is that if you don't adapt quick enough, you could end up losing. You can just see, I just feel like the speed advantage is so clear between Cyril Gane and Ngannou whenever they fight here. It's just Cyril is so much faster, and it makes it that little bit harder when you're trying to use Francis Ngannou. I mean, it's hard enough as it is because Cyril has a lot of tools, and it's not that Ngannou doesn't, because at any given point I could do what he done in real life and just opt to wrestle, but on the game that doesn't quite transmit as well, because Cyril is very dangerous on the ground, and I did want to keep this fight standing. You see, narrowly evade that spinning elbow there, good roundhouse to the body, and at this current time it seems like Cyril is slowly taking over this fight as I land a good leg kick there. One thing that Cyril is doing a lot of is throwing that head kick, which isn't really landing at the rate that Cyril's throwing. I mean, the roundhouse to the body is doing very, very good work. Good movement there. Good catch. Take him to the fence. And do I get a takedown here? I can't remember. I go for the takedown. It was a very, very good denial. A lot of people don't deny that takedown. So, unlike real life, I can't get him to the ground. So you can see that when the opportunity did present itself, I didn't just want to shoot like a blast double leg. I did try to go for the takedown, but good work from Cyril to evade. knockdown here for Cyril. So you can see that it's not going my way at all in this second round here. And of all the Ngannou fights, I think this was the one that I had that was the most challenging. Hence why I'm putting it in the video, because the others were just very, very short, very quick knockouts. And when I'm trying to show you guys gameplay, I don't like often showing you the quick fights. I like showing you the ones where you have to battle, it's a tactical matchup, and then you have to persevere. So that's definitely what this fight is here. You can see definitely going through it right now. Cyril's mixing up very well, working the leg, that cross catches him nice. And again, I'm throwing the leg kick, and one thing I wasn't throwing enough is Ngannou's got a very good high kick. You see he tries to bait me in there to getting caught with the high kick, but I was wise to it. Just being very patient, staying in that boxing range, because in the boxing range is where I'm going to be able to do my best work, and trying to slip the uppercut in, move away there to avoid his uppercut without having to sway, which is a very useful tool. Rather than just swaying back, you just step back and avoid it. Trap him against the fence then. I was trying to unload, but due to my stamina, couldn't unload to the fullest extent. Good utilisation of slipping there to get away from the uppercut. And you can see, starting to find my range a bit there, although he does a very good job himself there, Cyril, in avoiding the strikes. Was moving away from the big punches that Cyril was presenting, and then answering back myself, again throwing that little leg kick there. And I'm very cautious when it goes into that kicking range of the head kick coming to fly. Now I know the roundhouse is landing as well, and you can see that my body health is definitely feeling that, and my stamina is not looking great right now, especially going into the third round. But like I said, when you're in a 3-round fight, you can definitely afford to expend more stamina. There's 2 whole rounds less to work with, and the highest probability is that Cyril's stamina is also not in a great position, because we're both throwing at a similar pace, both throwing at similar power, so it's only fair to assume that Cyril's stamina is not the best either, although it's probably slightly better just because he's doing better body work. But yeah, nevertheless, being patient. You can see he's doubling up on the elbows now, which is normally a sign that he's really desperate to try and get me out of here. So I'm going to stay patient like the predator that Ngannou is. I'm just going to really seek out the opportunity, go to step in, bang, front kick, into switch kick, very good combo. And one thing Cyril wasn't doing enough of, potentially in my opinion, was utilising the teeps, which is something that Cyril does a lot of in real life. He wasn't throwing many teeps, he wasn't throwing many front kicks, and wasn't jabbing away at the body. So as good as Cyril was fighting here, there was definitely tools that Cyril could have utilised better. But you can see the body work is just absolutely nothing but phenomenal. But Ngannou is just so tough, just staying in there. I dug straight into that uppercut there, and I'm expecting the switch kick now, because he's just landed it there. And because I'm so conscious of the head kick, you can see that it's really allowing Cyril to tee off on the body. But like I said, I'm not advocating how you should fight Ngannou. I cannot utilise Ngannou at all. He's definitely one of the harder fights for me to use. Him and Izzy, I really do struggle using. So this was a very good challenging video for me to make, and I did really enjoy making it. I think I had 4 fights with each, and I've included one of each. I think it was the longest ones that I tried to include, or the best ones in this, because in this scenario here was definitely the longest, and the one that I went through more adversity. The other 3 were just quick knockouts against wrestlers. But where Cyril's been thrown at such a high output, especially in this third round, definitely trying to win the third round, you can see that his stamina, whenever he's throwing, is just depleting very quick. So I'm really trying to work the body, and I know that at any given opportunity, just because of the power Ngannou transmits, if I land to that body correctly after he throws a big strike, I can definitely get the body knocked down. Here you see sneaking that head kick there, bang rip to the body, and this is where the pressure's coming in. I can see that Cyril's not got the stamina, and that's where the uppercut lands. I mean, that was absolutely nothing short of beautiful. Forced him into an exchange he didn't want to be in, all because stamina just wasn't there. He couldn't back away. Get another knockdown here. I go into side control, which I don't even remember doing, to be honest with you. So I've probably seen if I could finish it with some elbows from side control. Get back up, and instantly I know I've got a pressure. He throws the head kick there, that Rob Whittaker head kick, which probably wasn't the best thing to do. Get the knockdown against the cage, and I think we may finish it off via ground and pound. So definitely a very good comeback finish. Waited for the opportunity to present itself, and when we did, Ngannou definitely took it. And now we're over to the middleweight champion of the world, Isreal Adesanya. Now, Izzy is just so good. I mean, this guy gets so much hate and so much criticism, but he's so good at what he does. I mean, not one bit of movement wasted in his fights. Phenomenal takedown defense, and then you talk about him being on the feet. It's just really is majestic to watch, and I think he's definitely been underappreciated. Although he's a star, he's definitely been underappreciated. I think that when it's all said and done, when his career's over with, I think people will appreciate what we saw more, because he's a very special talent, and he's fighting Alex Pereira soon, and that's going to be very challenging fight for him. I do think he wins. I'm going to be honest. He'll probably win by a decision or finish. I don't see him losing that fight. I just think Izzy is that good. I know Pereira's beat him, I think, twice in kickboxing, but if you go back and watch the fights, you'll know the story of those fights. I think one was a decision, and the other, Izzy was, starched him in the first 2 rounds, was looking for the finish desperately, but kept making a mistake and throwing the same combination, and then obviously got caught and finished himself, which, you know, it happens very early on in your career. Anyone can make mistakes. It doesn't matter how far into the career you are, to be honest with you. Anyone can make mistakes at any given point. It's about reflecting on that, building on that, and improving. I think Izzy, since he's come to MMA, has shown that his decision making is nothing short of excellent. Obviously, only having that one loss when he stepped up in weight, but again, the weight was the only issue for that loss. It was clearly a big factor, Izzy stepping in there the way he did. But he dared to be great, and that's what you've got to do. So, coming up against Luke Rockhold here, and this is definitely a favourable matchup when it comes to the feet. I mean, both are really good striking, but Luke's chin is obviously a shadow of what it used to be. I mean, ever since he got dropped by Bisping to lose his belt, everyone knows that Rockhold is very chinny, and it does translate onto the game. I mean, you hit him with one thing and it cracks him, and then it's just downhill from there. But like I said, I do struggle when using Isreal. I try to keep it clean. I try to switch stances. I try mixing the front kicks, the teep kicks, the leg kicks, of course. Be very patient. And one thing that people probably get annoyed at is I don't mind going to a decision with Izzy. I like to fight realistically, and if it means I stay on the outside picking apart my opponent the whole 3 rounds, 5 rounds, whatever it is, I have no problem in doing so. I will gladly do that, because that's exactly what Isreal Adesanya does in real life. I'm not going to force a finish. If the opportunity presents itself and I think it's there for the taking, I will do it. But I try to fight super realistic when using Izzy, and I try have the decision making he would have. Like, if I knock someone down, do I jump on top and risk that threat of potentially getting staying on the ground when I could be on the feet and lasering away, or do I just stand back up and wait for him to come? As you see, I land that beautiful question mark kick there. I mean, battle of the question mark kicks this really is, but Luke Rockhold's got phenomenal ground game, so it's something that I was definitely expecting Luke to try using this fight. And you can see going into the second round, Stamina's in a very good position, and switching stances, looking to isolate the body. And I've cracked Luke once, so I know that from here on out it should be a lot easier to crack him. As you see, good teep to the midsection there, 2 knees, and I didn't follow it with the uppercut. And I try to keep it in my range as much as possible. I mean, although this is a very favourable matchup in the sense that on the feet I'll have the advantage and the power and the health stat advantage, if it does go to the ground, I'm at a disadvantage because Luke's jiu-jitsu is absolutely phenomenal. Very good wrestling also. But you've got to respect Rockhold in the sense that his stand-up is good. Like, he can cause a lot of damage, does have the power, and does have the arsenals both in his hands and his feet to cause a real problem. So you do have to respect Luke. I respect a lot of players that try to use Luke, because often or not you will be doing well and then you'll get cracked once, and it's sort of downhill from there. However, you can see my opponent's pressing. He knows they lost the first round because of the knockdown. Good check there, which gets that leg health event. Try sneaking the front kick there, which doesn't work, and you can see back away, he gets a leg health event now. So very back and forth second round here, taking a lot of damage, but again, the work to the midsection here is really what's going to do it. You can see that the teep kicks are landing at will, sneaking a good hook there. And I'm trying to utilise feints without spamming them so much, because a lot of the times you'll fight people using someone like Izzy who uses a lot of feints, or Sugar Sean, and they use so many feints that they're just expending energy, because they feint and then bobblehead, feint, bobblehead, feint, bobblehead. And what this does is those little micro movements really affect your stamina in the long run. Although this is only a 3-round fight and I have got the, you know, energy expenditure to mess around with, I can opt to use more energy. I just try to keep it as clean as possible when I'm using Izzy. And you can see that I've switched to using the oblique kicks, and this is something I don't see enough people do, is that instead of throwing the regular calf kick, once your leg is hurt, just switch to that oblique kick, because they can't check it, they can only dodge it. So you're going to minimize the damage done to your own leg. So that's why I've switched the oblique kick here, and it's good when someone's stepping into that boxing range, you time it correctly, it stops that animation, pauses them in their tracks, and then you can, you know, land wherever you want after that. So you can see it's a tool that now I've started using, I've switched to using, switching stance a lot here as well. And like I said, the oblique kick's really just to nullify any more damage to the leg via checks, so hence why I mixed it up there. And you see in boxing range, still land that kick there, land another teep kick to the body, and those have done so much damage. I mean, you can see the soreness on Luke's body, but it's just the persistent and the rate they're getting thrown at, and the success rate, to be honest with you. They're landing quite a lot. They've very rarely been caught or blocked or avoided, as you see for another oblique kick there. And yeah, I've laid out the markers for what I want to do in round 3. I've damaged the legs, although my legs are damaged. I've damaged the body, and the head health is not looking in the best position either. So again, coming into round 3, if you compare the stamina from round 2, virtually similar. This is about 90%, and it was 95% the round before. And you can see he shoots for a takedown, but very good sprawl there. And I knew it was coming just because, you know, he is using Luke Rockhold, and it's about time that he tries to mix it up and get his own takedown. But yeah, in this round I'm looking to build off what I've done in the other rounds, and that's certainly, you know, work that leg and go for that body. And you can see land that teep again, throw the knee to the head and the knee to the body, land that uppercut, and definitely more aggressive in that move there. You can see definitely looking to push the pace. I'm the one that's leading the dance rather than Rockhold. Whenever I use Izzy, I'm more than happy to let someone control the centre of the octagon and dance around, but then when the time is right, I will regain that centre, use the teeps, use the front kicks, and, you know, just control that range. And you can see there, another solid leg kick landed. You can see that Luke Rockhold's stamina is definitely worse, so where again, that is all just part of the beautiful work that's been done to the body. That uppercut right there was filthy. I mean, perfection. Landed exactly how it needed to, and just done a tremendous amount of damage. I mean, that was beautiful. I haven't thrown the uppercut often, so that's exactly why Luke wasn't expecting it. That uppercut reminded me of the uppercut against, was it Rob Whittaker? I can't remember now. But that uppercut was absolutely beautiful. Again, another drop there because of the teep kicks to the body. I mean, that is such a great tool to use with Izzy. And you come up against people that use him and just sort of spam them but not really time them, and oh, look at that. I mean, we're just starting to have fun in there, and I'm not rushing the finish. I'm being very patient, because the finish isn't the end goal. I've controlled the fight. If the finish is there, I will take it, but like I said, I'm being very cautious. I'm not looking to overextend, and you can see I'm starting to use different arsenals in this third round here. I used the push kick, I've landed the switch kick, I've done the oh, I can't remember the kick's name now, the spinning heel kick, and this is all stuff that I'm giving Luke different looks, and this is something you've got to use with Isreal Adesanya. He's got such a big arsenal, and the problem with a lot of Izzy players, and like I said, I'm not a very good one, is they show you all their tricks early on, and then you become aware to it, you know when it's coming, you can really time it, and as a result of that, you know, they end up becoming predictable. You can time takedowns and stuff like that. When you're mixing it up like this, and you're you know, making it extremely hard, it's a very big guessing game. Like, Luke doesn't know what's happening, he doesn't know what he's going to get hit with. That's when Isreal is at his most dangerous, and you can see I'm not opting to go onto the ground. I know there wasn't much left, but get that little stun, try to get the question mark kick, and that's the third round done with. So very Good fight. I thought it was very entertaining. I thought this was a good fight to showcase to you guys and just show you how I sort of use Izzy. Like I said, definitely not the best Isreal Adesanya player. Definitely not claiming to be either. But I do think hiding your skills and managing your stamina is definitely the way forwards. Now, coming into this fight, we are using Kamaru Usman, and I love using Usman on this game. He's a bit stiff, coming up against Leon Edwards, who, everyone knows what happened. That head kick was nothing short of phenomenal, and you'll see that this is a 5-round fight. It is against a Twitch streamer who was streaming at the time, so shout out to him. But good fighter, we're 1-on-1, so I knew this was going to be a very, very interesting tactical fight. And using Kamaru Usman, I'm sure everyone knows what I'm going to be looking to do, because that's what you do with Usman. You don't fall in love with the hands. You need to work everything around getting the fight to the ground. So you see, shoot a double there, cancel it, and finish with the hook. And that's just to get Leon thinking that a takedown could be happening, backing in towards the fence here. He throws a kick in boxing range, which is one of the biggest mistakes you can make as a fighter on the game, because it leaves that chin so wide open, and Usman's got a lot of power. So it is only early on, so fortunately he hasn't taken, withstood too much damage to that chin, but that's definitely a telltale sign that he doesn't really gauge the distance well, and that's something definitely capitalized on in the rounds to follow. And there is 5 rounds to work with, so you'll see that the energy expenditure in this fight is going to be very different to my other fights. I'm going to be a bit more patient. You'll see that I'm definitely looking to work the body with the clean boxing. Still look to land the teep kicks, even though it's obviously not a tool that Kamaru utilizes a lot of. Definitely going to be looking to utilize it, because it is a 5-round fight. You need to pick and stab at the body, legs, and the head. And it's the first round. I'm trying to see what Leon's trying to do, and based off that is how I will formulate the next, 3-4 rounds, however long it goes. But shoot a takedown here and a good deny, and this was good because it allows me straight away to know that, okay, I am fighting against a high level fighter, which I did know because I have fought him before. It was a good takedown deny, and I know if I shoot in that direction, more likely or not he will deny it. I shot at a time I had good stamina, so it didn't leave me in a terrible position after, and we both ended up getting up, and it's back to the stand-up dance. So yeah, it was a good feel out. It was a good test to takedown. I mean, I managed to get to his legs before when I shot the double and cancelled it, so I knew that his legs were definitely there. Shot, he denied, and then I thought, okay, rather than shooting again in the center of the octagon, I'm going to back him up towards the fence and get a cage takedown, and that's exactly what happened there. But quickly, to stray away from the video, I just want to say a huge thank you to everyone that's supporting the videos. I mean, growing at a very, very good rate, and I just want to say, yeah, I appreciate all you guys. I try to comment to as much of you as possible. If any of you would like to see a career mode, let me know. If any of you would like to play me, let me know. Message me on PSN, we'll get around to sorting something out. And yeah, just want to say I appreciate you guys. I'm working on the takedown video, and then I'm working on a very cool video, which is everything wrong with UFC 419 ranked. So that'll probably be the next video coming out, so look forward to that. But yeah, back into the gameplay. Very good round 1. Did end up getting the takedown. So I think out of 3 takedowns, we cancelled one got denied, and then the successful one was against the cage. So that's something that's very good to know, that if it gets to the cage, the takedown will come a little bit easier against Leon. So a good check there. And again, back to working the body. And look where he threw that kick from again. So Leon is a southpaw, so throwing that roundhouse will do a lot of damage, but he's throwing it as I'm stepping into that boxing range, and that's something that you need to take note of. I can see he's now starting to sidestep the jab, so that's something to be wary of. He tried to sneak in that head kick there. We push him back. I feint with the jab to see if he was going to sidestep, because when someone starts sidestepping, the best thing you do is throw feints, so they sidestep, and then you throw a hook. He's really trying to sneak in that question mark kick, but if he throws the cross and then does it, will be a lot faster. But then again, I suppose it is a bit more predictable, so sort of a catch-22 there. And Leon is definitely pouring on the pressure now after round 1. I believe, Leon knows that round 1 was very closely contested, if not will be my round, and being a lot more aggressive with the combos. And bang, where did he throw the roundhouse to the body? In boxing range. And this is exactly what I said would be a big problem, because if you catch him at the right time, as is about to throw that roundhouse with a hook, and you can see, I think it was a hook, then an uppercut, get the knockdown, and now straight onto the ground. So that's the big problem. You've got to be very, very wary of where you throw your kicks. If you do it once or twice and it's a mistake, it's not that bad. But if you fall into that false presumption that it's safe to throw roundhouses there or kicks in that range, that is when you'll be in big, big trouble. And take it from someone that's made that mistake loads of times. You don't want to be doing that, especially against elite level fighters, because they'll pick onto that, they'll register that, and it's those little adjustments that can really win you fights. So I saw this from round one. I knew there's something that was there. So as soon as he unloaded for that roundhouse, bang, got a knockdown. So now no matter what happens, this round is my round unless he gets a knockdown as well. Even though that, before that knockdown, he was having a very good round in the sense that, yes, he was withstanding damage, but he was fighting at his pace. He was pushing the pace. He was landing good leg kicks, good work to the body, good combinations to the head, and now has my back. But here I'm not really too worried. He's got just over a minute to work with, so if he doesn't sink in the submission, he does have time to finish it. However, with my stamina level, I'm very, very confident that, nothing's going to come from me. So you see that I don't mind letting him have the control time. I've got the knockdown. I've won the round. He transitions to top mount, which again here he can do a lot of damage from, so that's something to be wary of. We get into half guard, but like I said, I'm not really panicking too much. A good bit of ground and pound there, 28 seconds to work with, as long as he doesn't just spam me with significant strikes here or somehow gets up and gets a knockdown. I know this is my round, so we get into sprawl here. Once you're in this position, you're relatively safe. There's only 8 seconds left. Working away at my body, and I let him work away for a bit and then just transition to half guard, because normally I'll just let them, tee off at my body there, but it's a 5-round fight and he is using Leon, who's got phenomenal roundhouses to the body, so I don't really want my body health to be disappearing. Bang, look at that again, is just absolutely beautiful. Start off the round uber aggressive, he goes to throw that front kick, slip, and then throw, and then get a beautiful knockdown. I mean, the way Leon dropped there, says it all. And Leon's best department is definitely on the feet. That is where he's, levels ahead of Kamaru. But you can see that right now, because of the damage done, the reads I've made, the timing's down, when I'm landed, it's just doing a tremendous amount of damage. And now the fight's onto the ground, which is exactly where I want it to be. Getting the deniers, throwing them beautiful elbows, get the transition to the crucifix, and now it's all about being patient, getting the deniers off, draining away that stamina, making it a very grinding fight. I mean, this is what it's like to fight a wrestler, it's never going to be the cleanest fight. It's going to be grinding, they're going to be grinding away at you until you break, and they can finish with your ground and pound, or they can look to get a submission. One thing that, feel like Usman definitely needs to add to his game is that submission threat, because when you fight Usman, there's a threat of a lot of things, but the submission certainly isn't one of them. And I think Conor McGregor said this years ago, and everyone sort of brushed it away as one of them drunk Conor tweets, but he's not wrong at all. I mean, there is no threat of a submission when you're fighting Kamaru Usman, so that's something that I definitely try to avoid, is using submissions with Kamaru, because he doesn't tend to be the best at them. But obviously on the game, there's just opportunities where a submission presents itself and you have to go for it. But just look at Leon's posture here. It's another beautiful uppercut. So we're just having fun with it now. But if you look at Leon's posture, you can see that the stamina level just is nowhere near the same as mine. And again, that's all from the work we've done through the early rounds. It's been a very boxing heavy Kamaru Usman mixed in with the wrestling. That's exactly what you expect. You're not expecting Usman to come out there and kickbox with Leon. So whenever we're in Leon's range, I give him that respect. And then bang, look at that, out of the blue. I mean, who expected that, right? After everything going so smoothly, that was, wow. That was, yeah, it was something. I remember when it happened at the time, I was like, what? But this is what happens when you fight high level players, that anything like that can happen out of the blue. And it was very reminiscent of their fight, if you are so to say. I mean, Usman was having a great fight, barring round one, and then bang, out of nowhere, look what happened. And it just made me laugh, because it was so out of the blue, and that's the exact thing I slipped at the start of the round to get the knockdown, and he just threw it very randomly. I did not expect it to just come there, and it was just so swift, so fast, so fluid, and get the knockdown here at the end of the round, and that is all she wrote. So I hope you enjoyed this Three Kings of Africa upload. Let me know if you guys did. Leave a like if you did. Subscribe if you're new for more UFC 4 content, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.